Remember, gentlemen, all things on silent and or vibrate, including cell phones, windows down where applicable, and let whoever's loud in your area know that you about to do some shit. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host in a friendly neighborhood. Oh my God, Blade Runner. Holy shit, it was good. Who else saw it?
Nope. I haven't seen it yet.
God damn
it. Cricket.
Nope.
Today I'm joined by plebeians. Xeno120, say what's good.
Aloha.
Toki, the ever-loving Blackheart.
Wee.
Officer Lieutenant Cops.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Our new guy in the field from last time, Mayfield 316.
Greetings.
And of course, the legend to end all legends, the Highlander who has bested everyone with his sword he keeps located in the front of his pants. I present to you the return of a man, a myth, a god, a legend, and a non-believer, a one pikamitsu.
Ladies and gentlemen, my journey is in the most recent bit of time. My fingers have curled themselves up into a ball to become fists. Those fists have penetrated the anuses of damn near every living thing in Cyrodiil. From things as small as rats to things as large as storm atronachs. And they've even traveled dimensions into oblivion itself and the Shivering Isles, fisting everyone and everything. I come back to you with bloodied hands, with soiled hands, with increments of shit I can't even describe the stench of. But I will tell you this, my fists reign supreme, so you had damn well better prepare your anuses.
But did you kill them all in just one punch?
Of course, fucking the Elder Scrolls creators, Bethesda, don't want to overpower hand-to-hand. They want to make it the weakest thing. Make you work for it. It was a bit of work, but I got the job done.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I missed that. Oh, I missed that so much. I almost even missed how you and Toki go back and forth with trying to say the most disturbing thing y'all can think of. The only thing I want back now is Kara. I miss Kara. And no, not because, ooh, she was hot, some other dumb shit. No, Kara was fucking funny.
But let's not forget, she was also hot.
Well, look, she doesn't actually listen to any podcast she's not on, so I don't foresee you catching any hell over that. However, I'm not saying anything because I don't like the idea of giving her ammo. She likes shooting at me. She likes shooting at me. Anyways.
Well, I'll throw some ammo in there. I want to put it in the pooper.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like there's a bit of explanation for the new people. Okay, so originally, before the great cataclysm known as Val Morris opened his mouth and said something stupid to one of the only females in the entire universe that talks to him that isn't biologically related to him, we had a really funny and witty female component to the podcast. She goes by many names, but her most common nicknames were Taco and or Kara. So after he said what he said, even though only he said it and he agreed to it and no one else agreed to it and everyone basically shitted on him or chastised him about it, she's still up and fucking left. Even though it was just him. Val Morris is like what I like to call a V grenade. Anytime there's a V, he goes off and makes it so he can't find or get any.
So it's more like V repellent then.
Or V dickicide, spermicide. But yeah. You were there, so you know firsthand. Anyways.
V, I guess.
Yeah. He I'll tell you what he did later. That's not really something I want to put up on YouTube. Anyways, all right. So besides that, we got a bit of a special one today because this one took damn near a third or a fourth of a year, if you will, to get done. Subject matters in relation to business structuring of video game corporations, American style versus Japanese style, or more specifically, Central American style, aka USA, versus Eastern style, more specifically, Japan, aka Japan. Now, besides that, we're gonna go over some other stuff.
Wait.
What?
I swear to God, I thought I just heard you say Japoon.
G-poon. G-poon.
Japoon sounds hilarious, though. I might actually have to start using that.
Well, you do realize that 90% of the countries pronounced in America aren't actually pronounced the way we think they are, right?
Yes, I'm just making a joke with the word poon in it. Japoon.
Please don't. I have a friend whose last name is Poon. You may make him insecure.
Him? Well, he shouldn't be.
Shit.
It's like the best last name ever.
If you're any kind of man, then you know that the poon refers to the female parts and that you should not be offended, even though that may unfortunately be your last name.
Okay, listen. Did you forget that we're from the 90s, so when you get referred to as a female part, it's usually a bad thing? Unless you're in Europe. What man in this room wants to be called a pussy?
Nobody.
Hey, man, I am what I eat.
I'm just saying, it's not his damn fault.
Shut up, Toki. You eat the booty. Shut up, Toki. You specifically talked about eating the booty.
Yeah.
That means you an asshole.
Classic.
Well then.
24/7.
Hey, at least you didn't deny it. Anyways, we're also going to get a bit into this history or the current state of affairs with Capcom fighting on the corporate level, which we've never actually done. And after that, I'm probably going to black out from all the laughing that's probably going to ensue. But let's get started. Excuse me a second. Yeah, sorry. I don't like chewing into the mic. Okay. Now, this is one of the ones where you might want to take notes of in the chat box because the explanation is going to be clear cut and dry. However, it may come across as complex and y'all might have questions for me before I even ask y'all questions. But just let me get through the whole thing. The traditional American business structure, via a corporation or not, is pretty bare bones and it's almost philosophical. By philosophical, I mean it's third or fourth, depending on how you look at it, definition of unwritten laws of business and how business is conducted and handled, which is a pyramid-style hierarchy. The higher up / the bigger your paycheck, the less people there are in your position, and every time you go up, there's usually a position of authority applied to it. There may be sub-branches of this thing. For instance, there may be a manager and supervisor of the entire building, but there also may be a manager and supervisor of a specific local building. That type of deal. Subsidiaries play no part in this because they have no say-so over direct business affairs. And a subsidiary, for those of you wondering, is just a business that owns another business. Not a person at the business owning two businesses. The business specifically owns another business. For example, Disney also owns Marvel. Marvel is a Disney subsidiary. Now, back on this thing. However, when you go into the realm of publicly traded companies, aka get on the stock market, you get something called shareholders. Now, shareholders technically are not really your bosses per se. Unless you're a slave to money, which most of them are, so kinda they really are. Shareholder is someone who donates their money to help fund and pay for business and business operations. And in exchange, they get a piece of ownership of the company. And of course, they want to make some of their money back, or they want the value of their stock to increase. You can do things that they don't want you to as a CEO or a major executive. However, one, if you do it without them knowing about it, it could end up in court and you could end up seeing some jail time. But of course, you got a shit ton of money, so not really. Or two, it can be vetoed as a group or it could be put on a status of hiatus until certain amounts of people on the team agree to everything. Now, in a typical corporation style business for publicly traded video game companies, it'll run a little something like this. Here's what we made in this particular time frame, quarter over year, or fiscal year. Fiscal year, not to be confused with physical year, is the 12-month cycle from when that business was created. For example, Final Fantasy, aka Squaresoft/Enix, fiscal year starts in March because that company was born in March. But the physical year puts it in the third month of the year. What happens is once they see this, they ask, can there be room for improvements, or can anything else be done on the low end, on the intermediate end that can increase profit? And on the high end of things, what games do we have coming down the pipeline versus what the shareholders, stockholders want to see coming down the pipeline? Fan feedback is very, very not negated, but useless/worthless to certain companies. They say they value it, but they didn't really start aggregating feedback internet wise until fairly late into the game. And even then, there's no guarantee it'll make it across national or international lines. For example, see Sega, just Sega in general. I know that sounds dickish, but it's true. Now, let's switch over to the eastern side, aka Japan. Now, in their case, a lot of things are done or handled or run by seniority and someone taking a chance on you. For example, I'm gonna give you a name, and I'm gonna give you a hypothetical situation, but it could have been just as real. You are Capcom, or you are a majority stockholder in Capcom, and you are the executive currently. You want your producers and directors who manage and run the games being made to tell you what they think will be the best possible things to come down the pipeline. And after that, the board will review it to see if it gets approved. Ryoto Nitsuma, producers behind such titles as Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 4, has alerted you that he would like to do Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity. He doesn't just get money from you and then go do it after you sign him a budget. Shareholders come in, they decide it, they agree on it, or they say they're iffy about it, and depending on who's paying for it, it gets greenlit in secret or sometimes in public. But it's Capcom, so it's hard for them to keep a secret anyway. Now, you're Ryota Nitsuma, and hypothetically, your Versus series bombs. However, Capcom itself put no advertisement, marketing, or money behind it, and has made no effort to push anything outside of internet commercials showing off DLC characters.
Okay, hold on a second there. You're right, but to a certain extent.
Dre, I said earlier, this is hypothetical. Okay, now, so because of this, or because of dwindling sales, one of three things are going to happen to you. Option one, you give them an alternative revenue plan, as in how are you going to make this bomb flip itself into a profit, which is impossible and has been done on numerous occasions. Hence, Final Fantasy XIV original versus current Final Fantasy XIV. They went from not being able to maintain 50,000 concurrent users to having over 5 million in the bank, and they did it in less than 12 months.
Wizard.
Excuse me. Nah, they just knew to hire the right people.
Yeah. They knew to hire a wizard.
Anyways, so now you tell them A, DLC revenue, B, let me make a secondary version later on that's considered a more complete edition, because at this point in time, based on our release track record, people now don't even want to touch base versions of our games because they immediately think we're going to nickel and dime them. C, push heavy discounts on the digital version, or consider some type of free microtransaction version, which is entirely possible given this insanely stupid success of Dead or Alive 5. Fun fact, Dead or Alive 5 is now officially one of the most successful fighting games in history. They are now in the top 5. Yet, no one can even remember a fucking DOA commercial. Yeah, we can get into that at a later time.
Basically, if you're trying to make a DOA 5 commercial, it may as well be like one of those little porn ads they run at the beginning of porn VHSs that gives you little snippets of what's gonna happen.
I mean...
You mean you getting your ass whooped over and over and over again online?
No, you beating the ass of your right hand with your penis. Anyways.
Pretty much.
So, so now, if these options are successful, your position is maintained, and you might even automatically have to go through very little paperwork and explanation to do continuations of a sequel or to get DLC greenlit. In fact, DLC may be commanded/demanded of you with the predetermined cutoff limit that is not decided by you, even though you're the director/producer. The second way this can go is it is critically loved and lauded, however, sales are low. So instead of demoting you, because Japan, they don't so much hate firing as they do rarely use it, because being fired is viewed completely different than how it is in a lot of other countries. Also, it can lead to suicide, which all the businesses made bullshit about, they don't care about. They don't want to be caught not caring about. I know that sounds cruel and mean, but again, these are things I can explain at a later time. But safe to say, even though the statistic of suicides are declining in Japan, that's not the problem. The level of shame or disrespect and the value and seriousness of it is not something that has left Japanese culture. And that's me being nice about it. So
very nice.
Yeah. So you have the option of possibly having more games made. However, you will be assigned a minimalist budget, or you may be assigned to what is considered non-premium title creation, as in you're making a DS title, possibly a mobile title, or low-spec PC shit, blah, 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 until you eventually can be trusted or you can prove a big enough success. Now, the third and worst option, because firing is pretty much non-existent, is demotion. When you are demoted, they will not tell you in any way, shape, or form what you need or can do to possibly get into their good side. And in some cases, you can end up being demoted because they want you to transfer out of the company instead of getting fired, because they no longer trust, respect you, or any other types of thing. Unfortunately, one of the reasons that Gunpei Yokoi, the creator of the Game Boy family of handhelds, left Nintendo and died is because the Virtual Boy bombed. Instead of giving him a second chance or allowing him any form of redemption or taking his almost 20 to 30 years of work doing good stuff and weighing that against, hey, shit is going to roll downhill eventually, they decided to demote him. This, in turn, made him leave the company, which eventually led to his car crash. No, he did not kill himself. I just want to stress that out. Basically, long story short, he went to a different location because he was working in a different place. He ended up making a different device and called the Wonder Swan, a Japanese handheld system that has pretty much never left the shores unless you import them. And he got hit by a car on the way to work. Keep in mind, I heard this, or this was told to me about a decade ago. So there might be some errors. But, you know, if anybody wants to Google or wiki this shit, go right ahead.
Legends say the last thing that he heard before he got in his car crash was skirt skirt.
What?
Okay, that was, I don't know if that's dark or just funny or just weird. Anyways, so
It's all stuff. Let's play.
yeah, it's something. All right, so that's how it works. Now, with that being said, and what you guys know now, how do you think either version can improve on how they look at handling their game production business? And to be fair, I am going to start with you one by one, but if you have a question for me for clarification, ask me before you answer your question, and we're going to start with Mr. Officer.
Well, as far as I see it, in Japan, just speak up. If you don't trust someone, say it. Stop being a freaking wimp about it. Think someone messed up, then say something. Don't make it all, oh, it's all mysterious as to why they did this. I don't know what's going on at all. I'm left guessing. That's painfully cruel. And yeah, no, Van, you're fucking up pretty big. And intentionally ignoring, oh, he's got a bunch of experience doing previous good things, but he fucked up this one time? Well, away with him, send him off. That's, I think that is just asinine. As for American companies, well, they are slaves to the shareholders. At least some of them. And they will only listen to what shareholders have to say. I personally think it would be nice if they were to go and, listen to some of the input their fans are throwing at them, in some cases begging them for. But I get the feeling it will unfortunately fall on deaf ears. That's a crying shame.
Okay. All right, Zeno, what that mouth do?
It just speaks words. I have the mouth of a saint.
Sure.
Anyway.
Sure.
No, facts. These are facts. So anyway.
You're right, facts.
I think Japan, yeah, I pretty much agree. They need to just get it together about when they're talking to their employees or making sure that they know what they're doing, what needs to be done. They also need to, they can't give you a chance and then not help you out in the long run. Like as far as like you said with the commercials and stuff like that. As far as demoting somebody so that they don't have to fire them, that's kind of deep. I mean, I guess it's not firing. I mean, you're getting paid, sure, but I mean, everybody pretty much like doesn't have a successful time the first time they do it, so you gotta give them a chance. America, I think it should be a lot more like fluid. So they should like, of course, you got the shareholders and whatnot, and like they actually make the company essentially because they basically own it without owning it. You know what I'm saying? And they like don't talk to you directly, but at the same time, I think they still should be like more open. It should be more related to like the television stuff like that, and not just who owns it. Because like you may own a company just for the money, but actually not know what that company does or how it works or anything like that. So yeah.
EA.
Facts. That's pretty much it, though.
Okay. You seem to be right in tune with Mr. Officer, so I'll give you that one. All right, Mayfield, what you got for me?
Let's see here. I'm not even sure what I can really say because it seems like it's already been said for Japan. But now it just seems like any company that deals with a video game and of course they want to see success in it, it seems to me they're really stubborn at this point, and it just doesn't seem like they know the actual blueprint of, they know the actual blueprint of making or even selling a good video game, but it just seems like they're just absolutely stubborn at this point. And the whole demotion thing, I kind of don't see that, but then again, demoting someone probably gives them the edge that they need to like even do better next time. But that's just my opinion with that. As far as American goes, it's just the same way. You got video game companies that are just absolutely stubborn. They want to listen to the fans, but at the same time, they want to just make their own decision. And I'm not even sure how many shareholders there are that are really passionate about video gaming. It just seems like they're trying to make a quick buck in some current video game company that is supposedly doing well, i.e. Capcom, and they see that the numbers are down and they see that the sales are not as up to par as what it used to be back in the 90s. Well, Capcom and other companies need a reality check. Shareholders, what they need to do is they just need to back away from gaming companies like Squaresoft and Capcom and just say, yeah, we're not going to be a part of this because apparently you're not listening to the fans or you're not listening to the public media and seeing what they want. So for that, they just need a reality check and just say, yeah, we're not going to be a part of this, so we're going to go somewhere else and then just take it from there. That's all I got.
Facts.
Preach. All right, Toki.
What's up? Mine's basically everybody just needs to grow up. Yeah, you failed at one thing. Okay, get up, dust yourself off. Y'all make so much money within the year that y'all can potentially fix whatever y'all have lost.
Is it just me or he's not talking?
No, he's talking. It's just his voice is a little low.
I cannot hear him at all. I've got headphones on.
Well, that might be a you thing, but for the record, Toki, I can hear you, but if you want to speak up, feel free.
Can you hear me now?
Did any of y'all hear that?
If you can't hear him, I can hear him. If you're having a problem hearing him, try exiting the voice chat here and re-entering.
Okay, Toki, you're fine. Keep going.
Because, it's just like when you in school. Oh, you failed that test. Okay. It's not like you can't pick your grade back up. People just make too big of a deal out of everything. And they don't realize it's not the end of the world that you failed. You just got to go back and prove that you can do it. If you just sit there and complain and whine and, oh, he failed at this, so we should give him a second chance. Or, the dude that made the Game Boy, oh, he was swell at this, but, this Virtual Boy, it ain't that hot. He's done. We should just demote him and get him out of here before he causes us more money. You never know. He may be your golden goose. He may come up with something that you've never seen before. All it takes is somebody believing in you. Y'all got the money. It's not like everybody's broke. What did Sega do? They brought in that one dude that beat up everybody. What was his name?
Sega
Are you talking about the Yakuza series?
No, Sega de Sanchiro.
Segata Sunshido.
There you go. I'm American. I will butcher any name that I want to, sir.
Hey, at least he's honest.
You should hear how people say my name in real life. I'm not French. It's Haven.
Bless you.
But that's just how I feel. Suck it up. Stop being little girls about it. Not that there's a problem with being a little girl.
Okay. So, to summarize, your answer is basically accept that there will be failures and act like you got some sense.
Always.
Facts. All the facts.
Okay. So I guess that just leaves me. Well, since I pretty much agree with 90% of y'all, let me go and be fucking extremely venomous about it. Capcom, stop being a little fucking prick. EA, we know you're run by fucking cowards who don't give a shit about anything but a fat ass wallet. Who am I forgetting? Sega, I see you trying to pick yourself up, homie, but you need to stop fucking taking 3 steps forward every time you take 1 step forward. Because when you go 1 step forward and 3 steps forward, you miss the whole point of your progress. You're trying to go from walking to flying when you didn't even get to jumping and running yet. Calm the fuck down. Every last company, whether you're east or west, need to calm the fuck down when you have a loss. Because everybody and their mom knows, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, in this day and age, when we got legitimate DLC out the ass, Toki, go back to mute. When you got DLC coming out the ass, you know that it's easy, not necessarily easy, but it's less complicated to turn a loss into a win. I hate to say that sometimes you will end up alienating the offline crowd, but if you go back and give the offline crowd something to look at or something to touch and they can use so they don't just have to look at YouTube videos thinking about what could have been, there goes 90% of your issues with people having DLC. Everyone now has access to it. If I'm making a fighting game, my fighting game don't sell, I have no problem going to a fucking microtransaction format. And you know what? I'm not going to bullshit. Yes, it's because I saw Dead or Alive 5 get away with it. But you know what? I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to cater it to my company, cater it to my audience, and cater to the demographic I'm looking for. So since I don't want to smell smut, I don't want to sell smut and lewds, I'm going to make some DLC outfits out the ass. But guess what? They're not going to look like fucking strippers. I'm going to try to give people extra stages. And then you know what? I might put it on a point system. Basically, people don't want to learn from other people's mistakes. They want to make their own mistakes. I'm seeing that too much in Japan. I'm seeing it too much because there are mistakes that Sega made, Capcom made, Nintendo have made, and they all learn from it, or either they didn't realize that you learning from it shouldn't be a fluke, and then they go and repeat it, or another company goes and repeats it. Now I understand that there aren't a lot of people who transfer between companies, but there is a little thing called common fucking sense. If Namco Bandai is one of the only companies making internationally released fighting games for almost 10 years, Capcom, why the fuck ain't you paying attention? This is like the minute Street Fighter versus Tekken, and they said, fuck it. My problem with Japan is awareness. The demotion bullshit, but we already did that. But the other problem for me is awareness. Sometimes it's arrogance, and sometimes it's just disbelief. But even I understand that, look, we got old people making a lot of the shit we like. And I don't mean old as in, oh, they're not under 30. I mean, they're damn near 60. And they're making games, or they're trying to make stuff that they want to appeal to groups and demographics from as little as 4 to 5 to fucking 50 and 60. So realistically speaking, there is no excuse for that level of ignorance at this point. And I'm going to call it what it is. It's fucking ignorance. See, if it was stupid, I'd feel a lot better. I know that sounds wrong, but let me explain. Shit you not, if you stop and think about it, stupid can grow and digivolve and adapt into being smart, or just less stupid and then smart. Ignorance is eternal. It's the difference between smoking 1 cigarette and having fucking lung cancer. Now, as far as Western European American side, your problem is shallow ass jackasses who didn't come from money getting fucking greedy because they see what DLC can do. That's the biggest problem I've seen, I've come across, and I've noticed. I don't care how big you are, how small you are, how famous you are. For some reason, people don't seem to realize when these little bastards get big ass checks, one, they don't go down to the fucking people that programmed, coded, and rendered this shit. It goes to the person that managed them or directed them, and then it goes to the owner of the company and the shareholders. Yeah, they send out bonuses, but those bonuses don't make up for the extra work hours that no one signed up for. The fact that if you go into a union, your job is immediately terminated. And the fact that a good portion of them get their family lives ruined. If y'all get a chance to go on Google, I can't find it right now because of how I got my room and the microphone set up. But there, if you just typed in Ubisoft scandal or Ubisoft employee's wife husband scandal, you're going to learn some things. And almost none of it is a lie. Matter of fact, I'm not going to even say almost none of it. I will tell you from her perspective, just as an outstander on the glass looking in to the gaming world, it's all true. Basically, the whole thing was a letter saying, look, you've destroyed my family dynamic and you're doing it on purpose. Please stop. She did it from the perspective of, I don't think you're aware you're doing this. I know that's bullshit. I know people who sit up the top and count their fucking money don't want to give a shit about anybody unless they're basically bleeding their souls to fucking work and get them more money that they're not even going to share or pass down. So yeah, we are pretty much in agreement. Moving on. All right. Second topic.
I'm back, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Should be good. Just throw in my 2 cents on this topic before.
Go ahead.
Anything decides to randomly fuck up again. Okay, so on the J-Poon side of things, the reasons behind Hold Emotions not wanting to get fired, this doesn't go back as far as business specifically. This goes back to like ethics, like basic ethics, basic living ethics in Japan. This can go back hundreds, hell, maybe even thousands of years. They live on respect. They honor and respect people. They don't treat other people like shit just because they want to treat them like shit. They respect other people. They only shit on people when things go to an extreme. Now, with that being said, demotions happening, this is also a kind of respect. Not the respect to a person, but the respect to the person's family. Knowing that, hey, you have mouths to feed. You've done work for this company. I don't just want to take that all away from you at once. So here's what we're going to do. We both realize you messed up something, so we're going to cut you down a bit. But we're still going to let you stay here. We'll give you a chance to work back up. See, that's flat out respect. Whereas in the US, if you fuck something up bad enough, you don't get a second chance, you get the boot, they bring someone else in. You see, we don't respect that. We don't think about other people's families. We just think about money. Greed is a serious factor here in the United States compared to Japan. And that is a severe problem. In culture, not just in business, but in our culture in general. Now, as far as the United States is concerned, like I said, greed is a problem, but we also are getting very dangerously close to just using DLC as one of the main ways of getting money from games and milking people. And I don't mean nice DLC as in like a whole lot more missions, like really, really strong
or an arcade
stuff.
mode.
Yeah. Like the cheap shit, like stuff that we should already have on the disc. Or sometimes it's on the disc, but you have to pay to unlock it, Capcom.
Yeah, I mentioned the rules of DLC in a previous...
let him finish.
But yeah, it seems that other companies don't look at this and say, hey, you know, this is kind of morally wrong, you know, we shouldn't be doing this to our fans, you know, they've been with us before the days of DLC, and, you know, they've kept us going. We shouldn't really be doing this kind of slime ball tactic. Instead, they see the results, and they say, I want a piece of that. So then they start developing their own ways to do it, whether they be the same amount of slime ballness, or maybe even more so. Maybe they have their own few little tweaks to do it. But we're starting to adapt that as a major thing, as a must-do in order to survive. And that's not right. If you want to survive, you make damn good content, you put it out day one, and the fans will show you. The fans will freaking show you their love by purchasing the game and continuing, huh?
No, just to give an example, because I know a lot of people don't see that nowadays or they think it don't happen. XCOM 2. A good game they did their DLC right, they did their expansions right, and they made damn sure that as long as someone asked them to release it on the system, they fucking did it. I just want to point out it can still be done in this day and age.
Yes, it can be. It's not completely gone. There are some companies who stay tried and true to, their business practices, and they don't sell out. But it just seems that a lot more companies nowadays are starting to go that route, and it's a damn shame. It really is. All right, moving along.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate you putting that last bit of sense in. All right, part 2 of this little corporation takedown. I would also like to point out this month, Mr. Robot goes back into airing on TV. If you don't know what that is, picture Fight Club if it was a TV show. Now, distribution and production, East versus West differences, or lack thereof, and what you think could be possible improvements. So this one's actually even more simple. There's not much of a difference. I'm a company. I have a product. I want to sell this product physically. So I have to get it distributed. However, I don't own my distributor 9 times out of 10. So what I do is I keep hiring third party after third party after third party, and the third party hires a fourth party or a third party, whatever their official name is of a third party, a sixth party, I don't fucking know. And once I get the product made, I fly it from the country it's made in, which is almost never my own, so it can be used, bought, played with, toyed with in whatever country for that region or those multiple regions. Now this is an example, and this is one of the easiest ones to follow. I'm Nintendo. I make Amiibo. Amiibo gets made in China, Korea, Taiwan, someplace like that. Amiibo gets fucking flown in, or it gets boated in, whichever one will make sure the price doesn't go too far down. The distributor gives me a rough estimate based on how much Amiibo is going to be in each individual package inside the container, and how much it's going to weigh with and without the container. They give me an estimate. I pay them that estimate. Then after that happens, the distributor drops it off at their location. After the distributor drops off to their location, it is loaded into whatever type of shipping device that company has going through that location. So if I'm Best Buy and I want Amiibo, okay, I come get it from the distributor. My truck goes and picks that up and possibly some other shit, and it all gets brought to this location, XYZ, blah, 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 rinse and repeat indefinitely, forever and ever, ad infinitum. Okay? So that's how it's done. But here's the thing. It's very universal. The biggest difference is being Japan doesn't care if a company outside of their country gets caught violating labor laws 9 times out of 10. So with that system in place, that is one of the main reasons that video games jump up with inflation or around inflation. Now, some of y'all may not remember this, but I know my old schoolers do. Back in the day when we was young, video game was basically $20 fucking on almost every system, whether it was a new system or an old system. Shit was just $20. Period. Then, if you went to a bigger, like a premium store, they really wanted to get some money because they knew they weren't doing trade backs or selling the used games. So the big stores would be like 35 or 30. Then everybody started going to the big store route, like Toys R Us and Best Buy and them. They started going to the 30, 35 route. Then it slowly kept creeping up until we got to the 64-bit gaming era or the Blu-ray disc era, because those discs in and of themselves were expensive when they came out. So that's when we got to this 60 price point. But here's the thing. Those prices, as you've noticed, weren't dictated by Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. They were dictated by the distributors, which may or may not necessarily be, a bad thing. Even if they give them the lowest price because they're continued / loyal customers, the price is still going to go up because gas costs more. We haven't converted to fully efficient forms of movement and vehicle transportation in every single country ever. So And also there's taxes.
Always taxes.
Yep. So, let me ask you something, Pika. Do you think there can be anything changed or done to alter or bring down distribution prices or make distribution more efficient? I know that was a little tough.
we've only really seen the one spike in prices when we switched from mainly cartridge based to, like, at that point in time, the mix of the cartridge slash disc based games. That was around that time, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to make those discs, of course, they're going to have to get more sophisticated machinery to mass produce said discs and get those games out. And then when they get the disc out, they have to put them in something else because you know damn well a cardboard box is not going to protect a disc properly. So they have to get cases, and they either have to buy them from someone or they want to get machinery to make them themselves, whatever they want to do. It's their decision. So then it's not just the game type itself that will cause things to increase in price. It's the process of making them and then the things that have to go with them in order to keep them safe that will add to these costs, and then these costs have to be made back up somewhere.
And then taxes.
Yeah, and we know damn well these companies are not going to 100% believe in just their sales making up all the differences, so they have to slide them in somewhere else. So it's until, because even when we saw things switch from like CD based for like the original PlayStation to DVD based from the PlayStation 2 to now Blu-ray based stuff for our newest new gen consoles, I don't see another spike coming up anytime soon.
Oh shit, we're gonna talk after this.
The only thing that I can really see in the future is maybe a ever so slight like stagnation of prices. Like they won't go up, but then again they won't go down.
Yeah, we're gonna talk after this.
Yeah, apparently there's something that you know that I don't, so this ought to be interesting.
Remember, entertainment software seller. So yeah, there are some things I know.
Okay, but yeah, that's basically. I mean, even if companies wanted to make more, like put a discount on like digital versions, so they'll try to get more people to buy digital, just so they can try to cut down on costs of making the cases and all the leaflets and crap. That might be a better idea to try to in the future perhaps lower prices a little bit. But other than that, I don't really see much changing.
Okay, because he implied it. Go ahead, officer. Your turn.
Okay. This was topic.
How to improve on distribution, or what can be changed to possibly save money.
Well, I think a lot of them are already moving to the logical conclusion that, well, digital distribution, which of course there are obviously going to be big snares for that. Australia specifically comes to mind. I've got a few friends down there that have a rather unpleasant time of it when they have to download a game off Steam and the like. But I think a lot of companies are probably going to switch over to digital distribution.
We're going to talk after this too.
Yeah, that's pretty much my say on it. I think they're going to switch to digital distribution, and probably ship fewer discs.
We are definitely going to talk after this. All right, Zeno, how you feel?
I think they can save money by cutting down on commercials, because everybody knows what a PlayStation is. I like, instead of like 100, they should make like 25, and then all the press conferences, and I think that'll.
Bro, you moving too fast. Make 100 what? 25 what? What the fuck?
No, I said cut down on commercials. Save
Okay.
money off commercials, so that they don't have to, so they can save money. Like, it'll cut down on all the production for it and whatnot.
Okay.
So, like, instead of having 100 commercials, you know what I'm saying, have like 25. Like, you know, of course I'm over exaggerating, but I'm saying, like, just cut down on that, and just like for the press conference and stuff, be more elaborate.
Mhm.
Like, they have like E3 or whatever, and I think that'll like cut back on like some costs.
So you say choke advertisement budget, throw it into distribution.
More or less, yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting take. All right, Toki, what you think?
Give all your distribution over to Africa. Get them all them little African boys out there riding bikes and get all your shit out.
Listen. I can't tell if you're being serious or not, but you need to figure it out right now, because you're going to a place that I'm not going to be able to allow on YouTube.
All right. Just go with everybody else's suggestion then.
All right, Mayfield, make me feel better.
I don't think I can after that.
It's not your fault.
I can see that. Distribution. In my honest opinion, I don't think there's a solution to. As much as people want to make these suggestions, they're good, but at the end of the day, these distributors are going to look at these ideas and they're going to wonder how can they actually make more money than they already are making. So, in other words, it just seems like distributors, as much as they want to try to make things better, at some point in time, they will get greedier.
Okay, so nihilist view. All right, my turn. Given my unique situation, I can honestly say everybody got a little bit of right mixed with their wrong, or rather, everybody got a little bit of optimism and pessimism, which is healthy. Now, I think, or rather, I know prices will fluctuate. However, no one knows if it'll be an up or down situation because, again, distributors rule everything around me. Dream, get the money, dollar bills, as it were. But there are some ways that companies on their side can alter pricing. I feel like there should be a redirection, or there should be partial removal of money based on a certain volume coming in. For example, I sell a game, it does, we'll say hypothetically, 5 million. Of that 5 million, about 15% of people buy the DLC. The DLC gets me more money than the initial sale of the actual. Whoa. Toki, mute your mic, man. What the fuck?
Oh shit, Chopper's coming in.
Yeah,
Did that sound like that?
That was odd. They can take revenue that they're earning via DLC and they can funnel it and cycle it, as well as, tax evasion money or low tax or tax haven areas where they are, to help offset that price, which will increase the sales figures and in turn the potential of DLC being bought. Because that's one of the biggest things people forget, or at least corporations forget, and that made DOA do so well. The lower the entry barrier is, i.e. how much it hits your wallet, the more comfortable someone is with buying it. And when you get people buying it, statistically average speaking, even though I don't have each company's average in front of me, you already know there's going to be a set of people, if they like it, will buy your DLC. And also you can apply DLC logic to the same thing as the original product. Lower the price, more people are going to get it. So you could have a game that sells barely enough to make back what you made, how much it costs to make, or it doesn't. But then after, you know, price deductions and DLC and whatnot, you get a bestseller out the ass, which is, well, case in point, DOA 5. I would like to say that there's a bigger / better example for these video game non-PC companies, but that's it. They did the one thing everyone else didn't think to do or was scared to do, and they made it work. But at the same time, DOA 5 is pandering. I'm not gonna lie. I like the game, but I don't like it for the reason that they try to sell me. They're not trying to sell me characters anymore. They're trying to sell me outfits. Not even trying to sell me stages anymore, except the Attack on Titan one. They're trying to sell me fucking outfits. Matter of fact, I think I need to go buy that Attack on Titan stage. I think it's a seasonal event or something. Anyways, so basically, all bullshit aside, the biggest problem is where the money goes once they start making it rain. On the initial sale of a video game, just for example, the average is around a barely double-digit or a single-digit number going back to the company. So if I sell the game for $60, I'm looking at barely getting 9 or 10 USD. But if I sell the DLC for double or triple what I get off of my initial physical sale, I'm doing a lot better, ain't I? So why not go turn around, use it to cut costs on the distribution, you know, get the game prices reduced, all this other shit, to increase my money in the long run. But that's just me. Or rather, but hey, that's just a theory. Now,
No.
on to, unless anybody got a last minute rebuttal, on to the third part of this. There is a possibility of a rehibernation of Capcom fighter titles. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to happen. I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm just saying that it can. Because the way Capcom views losses or failures is very, very arrogant and ignorant. If we can't get something to sell, oh, it must not be marketable anymore. It's not, oh, we fucked up and we mismanaged this shit. Now, even though you might be on the low end or the middle end or the high end, and you know this, doesn't mean a shareholder does, or that they'll give a shit. Fun fact, people with a lot of money automatically assume that they're smart. Not all of them, but a lot, especially American ones.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure Donald Trump thinks he's a fucking genius.
Mhm.
So, because of this, originally, we got that drop from Capcom Fight Jam Evolution going up into Street Fighter 4. That was almost 10 years. That was about, really, before it's, based on its release, it was eight and a half years. Even though they went into production a year earlier, obviously. But even then, they didn't actually make it. And a lot of people don't realize it because whether he's camera shy or he just doesn't give a shit about the limelight, Dimps handled almost everything about Street Fighter 4, and it was just directed by a Capcom employee. But here's why. Because originally, Dimps was only known for the Budokai Dragon Ball series. Well, here's the thing. Y'all know who owns Dimps?
Who?
The dude who made Street Fighter. Yeah. See, people don't realize, but he left Capcom back in 1991. He went to Neo Geo, and then after that, he made his own studio.
Interesting.
But the thing is that he turns down reviews like nobody's business. He went 12 years without being interviewed on purpose. 12 years.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. So who better to bring back Street Fighter than the motherfuckers that made it? Now, Yoshinori Ono gets a lot of credit, and he should, but the problem is I call it the Stan Lee effect. People aren't properly associating what they're famous for with what they're seeing. But much like the guy who made Street Fighter, whose name I feel like somebody should Google for me because I don't know it, and Stan Lee, it's not their fault, and it's not the fans' fault. It's an unknown. You didn't know that. Or rather, plausible deniability for those of you non-Boondocks people. So, that's how it is. Now, my question to you is, do you think, based on the current climate of how their fighting games have done in the past, post Street Fighter 4 era, that Street Fighter versus Tekken, all the way down to Marvel vs. Capcom 4, based on their sales, or lack thereof, and their DLC sales, or also lack thereof, do you see them as waning or increasing their investment into fighting games? And I'm going to start with you, Mayfield.
Let's see here. What were the two, you say either weighing or decreasing?
Waning, okay, decreasing or increasing. Do you see Capcom's interest in creation of fighting games decreasing or increasing based on their fighting games that happened after Street Fighter 4?
Decreasing, and here's why. The way that I see things, and I'm just going to bring this out there, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The gameplay that I've seen as of late, it doesn't feel right to me. And the only reason I say that is because it seems like some new people just stick their hands into a video game franchise that they know nothing about, and they just went ahead and winged it. And it just seems to me that Capcom is not really listening to fans at all, because if they did, they would have absolutely realized that what they have done is they did the one thing that they kept doing. I mean, they did the exact same thing with Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Even though it was okay, their practices weren't that good. They know for a fact that the moment that we buy this game, and the moment that we want these certain characters in the game, you're going to charge us for extra just to get these characters? And they just laughed at us and was like, yeah, you have no choice but to get these characters, so go ahead and pay up. If they keep going that route, if they doing the same route with Venom and Black Panther and Winter Soldier and all them, and it's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. It's asinine at this point for us to even, consider us as a fighting game fan to even continue this on, because everybody probably heard about the whole arcade edition for Street Fighter V.
It only took them, a year and a half to go gold?
But they should have put that into the game in the first place. They know this. They know that each and every single fighting game fan was going to be complaining about, why isn't there an arcade version in here? Why is this storyline so trash? I mean, we have a right to complain about this because Street Fighter 4 seemed like a completed game until other versions of that game came out. But when Street Fighter 5 comes out and we don't see an arcade version, what? You give us this game and you expect us to have good internet to play online? That's a big gamble right there. Now, I will say this much. If it seems that Street Fighter V Arcade Edition doesn't go so well, well, people are not even going to take Capcom very seriously anymore. And then they're just going to go ahead and just move on to better games. Like, oh, let's see here. Tekken looks pretty good.
Damn.
Um, Dragon Ball Fighters looks pretty
Oh,
good. Oh, wait a minute.
oh.
Is that? Wait, hold on. Is that DOA 5 again? Still doing so well? Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna try DOA 5 out just to see. Let's see here. Oh, and they might just go nostalgia. Like fighting game fans might just go nostalgia. They might just go back to playing Marvel's Capcom 2 and then just leave it at that. They're not even gonna play or Ultimate. They're not gonna do that because they know how mediocre 3 and Ultimate 3 work. So they're not even gonna go to it. They're gonna go to back to their roots. They're gonna find ways to play X-Men versus Street Fighter. They're gonna find a way to play. Let's see, X-Men: Children of the Atom. Yeah, they're gonna find a way to play those games. And go leave these so-called AAA games like Street Fighter 5. They're just gonna leave that alone because apparently they need to get their stuff together, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna do it anytime soon. Oh yeah, sure. You brought Mega Man X back, back from the dead into Marvel Capcom Infinite. That's all you did. Yeah, sure, you brought Strider or Zero, but where's Captain Commando? Where's Venom? Where's Ken? Where's Cable? Where's these other characters that were already into these crossover games to begin with that we fell in love with?
I mean, come on, mon ami.
So it just seems to me like Capcom is almost at the brink of bankruptcy once again. So that's my partake on it.
I would just like to take this time to say hyper combo finish. KO, you win. Flawless bitch ass victory.
Flawless victory. Fatality.
Alright. Who else wants to get up in that ass? How about you, Pika?
Okay, Capcom, you sleepy.
Damn.
You're about to become very sleepy. You fucked up when you released Street Fighter V without a story mode. I don't know if it's just me, but I really like back in Street Fighter 4 going through each person's little story mode because not only does it give you that little bit of time to play with every character, the story mode is the pull to want to try out every character because you get to look in at hello car. You get to look in to every person's background just a little bit to learn a little bit more about them, to get a little bit more intimate, so to say, with each character. And that's what a lot of people like to do. They just don't want to play the game. They want to know more about these people. They want to know more about the story rather than...
I swear to God, he could be talking about sex right now.
Wow, chicka bow wow.
And in a lot of ways, it's the same, When you play story mode...
Not everybody want that one-night DLC, Stan. Some people want to get the whole package. See?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You want to get to know your person that you may eventually be playing for God knows how many hours online. You want to feel like you are connected to them. And that story mode does just that. It brings you in. And now you just ship out a game, and it's just like, okay, pick your person, go fight these people. Go on, have fun. The fuck is that? You're just cheaping out on a lot of shit nowadays. You're seeing all these other fighting games put in their story modes with the game. It's been the go-to, one of the must-have things in a game, story modes. And other companies have been evolving story modes as well, making them even better. And you're just going to ship out the game without one? Capcom, Someone needs to take a bat to your fucking head and put you to sleep for a few years so you can think about what you've done.
Damn. Get at that ass longsword style.
Yeah, you need to go back a few years. You need to go back a few years and think about what made Street Fighter 4 so good in the fighting game community. It wasn't just, the huge outreach that the FGC, grabbed Street Fighter 4 since it had been a long time since they'd gotten one. It was all the characters, all the unique characters, little personalities and thing. It was all of the cosplay, all of the support for the character. Well, yeah. But yeah, just all of that all together just made it so big. And then you release Street Fighter 5 and you don't get squat and you wonder why this happens. It's because you went cheap on us. We thought you were going to take us out to a high-class restaurant, maybe even an Olive Garden. Olive Garden's still nice, it may not
it's no
be
Red
as
Lobster,
up there.
but I mean, still.
Yeah, but it's still nice,
Oh
unlimited
my God, this is
breadsticks.
so funny.
But then you took us out to fucking Taco Bell.
What the fuck?
Now,
I ain't
Taco
no
Bell,
basic bitch.
As a
yeah, Taco Bell. That's just something to just fill your stomach, to make sure your stomach don't hurt. It's there, but if it were your choice, you would not be going there because it's bad for you. It's not good, but you just have to have it just in case. And then you take me there when you've had time to plan out where you want to go. Fuck you.
I feel like Taco Bell is the fuck it of the fast food restaurants. Man, I want to get something to eat right now. Yeah, I'm hungry. We're nowhere near home. Hey, what's around to eat? Nothing except the gas station and Taco Bell. Oh, well, fuck it.
Yeah, they haven't decreased down the gas station level yet. But if they pull off another fucking thing like they did with Street Fighter 5, they're gonna head down there. That's like bottom of the barrel. That's like
Basic bitch.
you're gonna be shitting out both ends for weeks. So they need to get their shit together. They need to take a bit of time off and think about what they did. Otherwise, we might not know Capcom for fighting games for much longer.
Especially with the fact that Monster Hunter does so well. They can sneeze and Monster Hunter makes millions. All right. Who want to go next? I'm just curious. Who want to get up in that ass?
They could sneeze or, if you mention ass, fart. And, another Monster Hunter. Another millions of dollars.
Okay, officer, you going next.
Well, I pretty much agree with everyone else. Yeah, no, Capcom, it's not going to happen. Just get out now while you can. Leave it to someone better. Make the fighting games, because you have proven you can't do that anymore, Capcom. You're just doing so awful.
I would just like to take this time to say y'all should look at the links. Continue, officer.
I mean, I look at it. I look at this going on, Capcom and Crapcom.
Damn.
There you go.
Part of me feels a tiny little twinge of pity, knowing that, maybe if they focused on something else, maybe they do a little better. But no, they're not going to. They're going to keep trying to milk Street Fighter for all it's worth, and to be honest,
Hand job, kid.
I think that cow is almost dead. You can't milk a dead cow.
I feel like they're gonna try.
And that will be some pretty nasty ass milk.
Cottage cheese.
No, not even.
A smidge of cottage cheese. Not even gonna be a full cup.
Damn.
It's gonna straight up come out as like sour cream or something.
That's sad, because I like sour cream.
sounds like booty cheddar.
Ew.
You know what? I don't even want to know what that is. Just the name alone is unappealing as fuck.
Sounds
I
like
also do
smegma.
not want to know.
Booty check. No. Okay. All right, Zeno. You might as well since you fucked us up.
Oh no, that fighting games here. I think they're going down here for Capcom right now. They're going to have to focus on something else, or let somebody else take the charge and basically fall back. Yes, sir. I'm all for that.
Short and sweet and not insulting. I'm a little bit insulted. All right, Toki. Make me feel better.
Make you feel better how? Because I don't play fighting games. I play shooting games and adventure games.
I mean, the whole
Y'all
point
got
of
me lost.
the whole question is basically, should Capcom continue to make fighting games based on how they acting right now, or should they take a back seat to the shit?
I mean, apparently all their fans think they should take a back seat, so they should take some advice from the people that have been playing their games forever and sit back and try something else and come back when their fans start begging them to come back. Because there's no need to make something.
Buy our
There's no
DLC
need
season
to make
pass.
something
It comes with a hand
nobody
job.
wants to play it. If you don't want to play a game that's just gonna basically tell you have to buy this to do this, and you've already paid for the game and you got to pay for something else to go play the game, basically, it makes no sense at all.
They should go back to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 days.
You say that, but that game was incomplete and unfinished.
Hey, that was a great game though.
But you have to think about it. When you saw the characters that you wanted to get, but you couldn't get them right back, all you had to do was just keep playing the game. You didn't have to use real money, and you had points.
And then they put it on Virtual Console. Has anyone noticed that every single Marvel vs. Capcom game or crossover Capcom fighting game, they refused or damn near just go out of their way not to port to the newer systems? Nobody caught that?
No, just thinking about it, pondering on it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, well, I believe that is, yeah, everybody except me. All right, Capcom. Let me pull up my shoes and tie my laces before I dig my foot in your ass.
Bring that ass here, boy.
You goddamn right.
Okay,
all right,
then.
Capcom. First and foremost, before we get into this ass whooping, I need you to do two things. One, go get my Switch. Yeah, that's right. I mean my Nintendo Switch. And pull your pants down and hold your ankles. Thank you, Capcom. Now, that's how this shit gonna go. You gonna make two decisions. You either gonna be a bitch or you gonna man up. You gonna bitch out or you gonna man in and man the fuck up. It's a very simple thing, Capcom. Let me explain this to you like every single other person who goes out of their way to terrorize, and I stress the term terrorize, your online and social media do. Let me say it to you in as plain a simple way as possible. It is very easy for you to unfuck your situation, but you need to act like it. All you gotta do is pay attention to what your public relations people tell you, no matter what country they're from, and stop acting like a shareholder is just going to be able to predict what the fans are going to buy or not buy. Because if you don't, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to keep getting your ass beat. And even when you don't get your ass beat, you're going to sit up here and think because you did one thing right, you can immediately turn around and pull an E8 and fuck it all up and expect us to keep coming back and throwing money at you. Let me tell you something. I don't care who you are. If you give me a blowjob, and then I'll ask you or pay for it, don't make a difference, for a blowjob again, you say yes. And when I give you my money a second time, you just lick it once and leave?
You blanked out for a second.
Oh, sorry. I said, let me ask you something. If somebody's giving y'all a blowjob, and you like it, and you ask them to do it again, They say yes. They come back the second time and they just lick your stick once and walk away. You gonna fucking ask them for a blowjob again?
No, fuck that. Fucking Capcom just dragged the teeth that time. Shit.
That's a new one. We gonna start calling that. I'm gonna use that one. Hashtag teeth dragging. I'm gonna start saying that to grimy people. Teeth dragging ass. Anyways. No, I'm serious. I legit am gonna start using that shit on people.
Oh,
I already thought of 3 people I can use it on. Anyways. So even if the third time, or you call me and say, no, I want to give you a nice and sloppy one this time again. Free of charge, whatever. I'm not about to trust you. Here's what you don't seem to realize, Capcom. You betrayed trust so many times that pretty much, unless it's a new franchise or an old one no one's seen in like a decade, ain't nobody trying to fuck with you. You're that ex-girlfriend of everybody in the fucking room trying to get a new guy. What do you think is going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen with your grimy teeth dragging ass. Everyone's going to go up to that new guy and say, hey, see her? She fucked everybody in this room. Doesn't mean she's a slut, but she did cheat on all of us. You think I'm going to put my dick in that? You think I'm going to risk my dick getting some DLC STD? Hell no. Oh, no. It's real good. I promise it's going to get way better. You gonna nut so hard, it's going to be insane. You just got to give me $67, even though the game only costs $30. How about you go take this ball sack and you massage it for a hot week. Then and only then will I consider the presence of my dick being upon your mouth.
Hey man, it could be worse.
How? How could it be worse?
You could have the hundreds upon hundreds of dollars DLC that, what was it, Dead or Alive 5? Man?
Oh no, it's not hundreds of dollars. They're over 1,000. They broke $1,000.
Yep. It could get worse. I just hope no one uses that as an example of this is what we should do.
You know damn well somebody is. You know someone is. Did you forget we're in the age of idiot objectification? And I mean that quite literally. Idiots don't realize that the reason objectification was viewed as wrong or immoral or just not okay is because you're basically establishing a monetary value on a life. You must not have been to Instagram.
No. To be fair on Namco, well, whoever's end, the costumes that they keep releasing for the characters in DOA 5, it's not just, okay, alternate color A, alternate color B, oh, let's do like a little bit of a change on this outfit. They've done some collaborations on their end. They've put in some decent time to make... Yes, that's one of them. They've also, made relations to, other anime. I believe they've dabbled into some other video games as well. And they've put some damn good time into, doing up some nice artwork for nice dresses. Some of them are scantily clad, some of them not so much. But still, they actually look like they put effort into the DLC. And they don't make it cost that much. Just enough to say, okay, this is reasonable. And they don't, just group up a whole shitload of it. It's $50, $60, get all of it or not at all. It's scattered. You can pick if you want it or not. But they put effort into it. Street Fighter's just hey, hi, we kinda fucked up. Here's some things that you might want, but just, they should have been in their first place, but we kinda forgot. But here's some other things you might want to buy just as a, just fuck you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I dragged my teeth.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had mentioned in a previous podcast some rules for what times you should use DLC.
Go ahead and lay them on them.
Stuff. It's pretty simple stuff, really.
Unless you're Capcom.
You are intentionally cutting out major story content to be sold later as DLC. See the what was it? The one from Mass Effect. What was the guy's name? What was it? Race? The Protheans, was it? where you get one of them as a
Yeah,
what's
Mass
the
Effect
one
3,
I
you
forget?
get a Prothean before he got infected with the STD roboticized herp.
Yeah, so
Pretty much.
that should have been in the base game, but no, DLC. When your true ending of the game, fuck you, Ashura's Wrath, is DLC. No. No.
Don't forget Mass
That
Effect
is-
2.
No.
And 3.
Fuck no. Let's see here. Other rules of DLC.
I don't even remember
the
whose turn it is, but
content-
fuck it. It's everybody's turn when it comes to fucking with Capcom.
If the content is already on the disc, it is not DLC. It is part of the game. Don't lock it behind some stupid paywall. That is that is a cardinal sin of DLC. You never do that. Let's see here. What was the next rule of DLC? I think the next one was really just guidelines for pricing. For example, cost. If you have, like, say, a pack of, let's say, 7 to 10 costumes, the price of that DLC should be no higher than, like, 8 to 10 bucks. Otherwise, yeah, no, that's ridiculous. But of course, that's bound to change over time because, inflation is a thing. But yeah, the main 2 rules of DLC: no disc lock content, and if you're cutting out content, major important story content, it shouldn't be DLC and you shouldn't be cutting it out.
Unless it's Marvel vs.
Another
Capcom
example.
4. They could have just cut that shit out.
Another example of a game that cut out major story content was, I think it was one of the Assassin's Creed games where, like, 2 of the chapters that have some really important plot details are, if you play the game normally, it just skips over those 2 chapters and then goes to, like, the end. It's like, wait, well, what? There's something missing here. Which were sold later as DLC. But hey, that's Ubisoft. We have come to expect them to also be shitty. But yeah, there are specific rules for how DLC should be used, and if you aren't following those, fuck it. No one should buy that DLC because it's bullshit. Of course, people are still going to buy it because
There's a such thing as stupid people.
Well, some people just want to see the story that they missed out on because sometimes, hey, the story's actually pretty good. People have said that about Mass Effect. I partially agree. It's pretty good. Pity the bullshit that happened to it. That's just my say on DLC. Feel free to disagree or agree. Your choice.
I don't think anybody disagrees with anything we've said in this entire category unless they've got half a brain. I think that's everybody, though. Did anybody not shit down Capcom's throat? Okay. Now.
Oh, and by the way, fuck Konami.
And thank God for me. Anyways. Alright. Well, I guess we could go into our own little personal news topics, which I know damn well none of y'all have. So I'm going to just go ahead and just give out this one real quick. New York Comic Con is currently happening. And guess who showed up there?
Rob Liefeld?
Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Huh.
They're showing off their new attempt at trying to get your money so we can make a profit. in the shape of Black Widow DLC, Black Panther DLC, Sigma DLC, Monster Hunter female DLC, and we ain't seen Venom, but we know that ass is there. However, it's only showing off the 3 characters that are coming out on the 17th, which are Monster Hunter, Black Panther, and Sigma. Sigma, Black Panther, and Monster Hunter, who are already in the fucking story mode.
Not impressed. Is there any news about Dragon Ball Fighters yet?
Oh yeah, this the same as always. There's new memes for Dragon Ball Fighters, and we found out there might be a playable build there, but that build is pretty much not going to be any different from the ones that have been making the rounds at every other event that they show up at to basically shit on Capcom, even though they can't admit that's really what they're doing. And no, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, there's a preview of The Runaways, the new Marvel show that's coming out, or the first Marvel show for Hulu only. And it's apparently doing pretty well, so I have good hopes for it because it's a Marvel show and it's not Inhumans. Because I don't care what nobody say. Everyone figured out Inhumans was going to bomb. Everyone figured it out. Disney just still wanted to make money because it's Disney. They will beat gold out of you or they will throw you away.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than that, oh yeah, the OG Power Rangers showed up there, but that's kind of like a staple at this point. They're like the new Stan Lee of New York Comic Con. As long as there's a New York Comic Con, it will always be time to morph. Anybody else got any news in the gaming spectrum they want to share?
Well, actually, no, I guess that one's not necessarily in the gaming spectrum. The whole, oh hey, Matrix reboot.
Are you fucking serious? They're rebooting the Matrix already?
No, it's not. It's actually not a reboot. It's basically a new story in that universe. People thought, like, when they heard it, people kept jumping to the conclusion of, oh no, they're gonna reboot it, it's gonna suck! No, it's not a reboot, it's apparently just another story in that, universe. That could be kind of interesting, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they did do a whole little third movie that was a combination of a bunch of movies about
What
the
are you
Matrix.
talking about? The Matrix doesn't have any sequels. There was only the Animatrix and the Matrix.
That's what the
There
fuck I'm
was
talking
no
about.
The Matrix Reloaded, and there was no Matrix whatever they would have named the third one. They don't
Oh yeah, this again. Oh yeah, Officer here has what I like to call selectively exclusive memory. If it sucks to a certain degree, it sucks its own memory out of his brain. Like in his mind, and a lot of people's really, there's no such thing as a Twilight movie. I wish I could live in that universe.
That one is
There's
just-
also no such thing as a Final Fantasy X too. I also wish I could live in that universe.
Yeah, they didn't make a 10-2. It doesn't exist.
It does. It does.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bikini Riku always lives in my brain. Always and forever.
All the facts.
Doesn't exist.
I'm just trying to think. Bikini Riku
but,
at that point in time, she was probably an older woman for you, but now it's just fucking creepy.
If
No, you gotta remember, 10-2 was set past 10, so she was of legal age at that point. Because remember, in 10, she was
No, I'm
underage.
saying she was older than you then.
Well, no, wait, I'm trying to remember when the fuck I got my PS2, because I got it for Christmas, and it came with 10-2. Shit. I want to say I was right around, I want to say it was around 18 or 19 when I got that.
Then
So I was
that would mean
actually
you
around
got.
the same age.
Well, you
if
are.
10-2 existed, Riku would have been 17. But it doesn't exist. And Riku's 15. That's sick.
Still Smash.
You know, I'm just gonna. Yeah.
You're gonna pass on that one. Anyway,
Glad you're back. Glad you're back.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, well, that's enough circle jerk ass whoop of Capcom for one dimension.
For now.
Yeah, let's be honest. All bullshit is that, statistically speaking, at some point in time, Capcom is going to do something that we end up talking about for some amount of time. So, other than that, the mini Super Nintendos came out, and I'm pretty sure they sold out again.
They did. My uncle barely got one.
Yeah, which means I'm selling them already again, same as always. Also selling Switches still, same as always. Zeno, closing statements. I love catching you off guard.
Yeah, because I'm always not on my phone.
Nah, because you're always paying attention to other shit because you got ADD, nigga.
I don't got ADD. I was paying attention to other stuff, but I got ADD. Anyway. Shut up.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Anyway, follow me on Instagram. HPF4Life. Let's go.
See?
Shameless plug.
Case in point. Toki, closing statements. And don't try to outdo Pikamitsu.
I do not try to outdo anybody, but follow me in real life.
What the fuck? What did I just say?
This nigga needs friends. He will take stalkers. He will take all
He's
stalkers.
asking for stalkers, yes.
Oh my god. No,
Stalkers.
Officer, what you got for us?
Kidnappers.
Well, here's hoping that tomorrow is a better and brighter day for the future of gaming. Instead of one that's been constantly eclipsed shit.
Take us home, Mayfield.
I'm just waiting for Dragon Ball FighterZ and the whole new Spider-Man for the PS4 to come out. Otherwise, fuck you, Capcom. Fuck you.
Damn. All right, Pika. Close this bitch out.
Alright, I'll just close this out by saying, hey, past couple weeks, I've been streaming, like I said. I streamed my fist through oblivion, blowing up assholes left and right. Now, I'm actually playing Cuphead, which is hard, let me tell you. It's also very fun to watch. So if you want to watch me rage, twitch.tv/pikamitsu. I've got a schedule at the bottom of the page, so you know exactly when to tune in. And don't worry, I said what time zone it is, so if you still can't figure it out after that and do the conversions, then you are a dumbass motherfucker even worse than Capcom.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't so much have any closing statements as I have a closing song, so let me tingle your ears for the next 2 minutes and 58 seconds.
What the hell?
In your booty, oh, Razor, long sword style, long sword style, long sword style.
Okay.
I see nothing wrong with some long sword style. I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with some long sword style. I don't see nothing wrong. You know you're evil as fuck. My long sword will fuck you up. I'm putting all in your butt. Right between those booty cheeks. I'm a Super Saiyan 2. Put my long sword inside of you. Freeze up. Right between them booty cheeks. Them booty cheeks. You see you better run from me, yeah. 'Cause I'm a long sword, you freeze up savagely. I don't see nothing wrong with some long sword style. I don't see nothing wrong subscribe for more parodies. And to my fans, I love you all. La-di-da, 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 la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da.
Okay, that was a thing.
What did I just listen to?
I believe what we just listened to is what is known as ear rape.
No, it's not.
Long sword style.
Yes, that is what it is called. It is something reserved only for the biggest enemies of Trunks. And one of his greatest enemies is Capcom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
I don't think it ever will.
Personally, though, I do kind of like Vegito almost as much as Trunks.
What do you mean?
C'est une big cartel. Dragon Ball. Shooting key blast in your direction. She touched my Dragon Balls, got an erection, yeah. Submission run, it is a blessing, yeah. Whoa, whoa, my DNA's hard. Solar flare on the darkest day. Kamehameha, wave. Finna go Super Saiyan slowly. Hands in the air, that is a spirit bomb. Got a girl with some lips bigger than PyCon. Hold on, look at Matara earrings on my ear. We lit, yeah, this fusion make my ass strong. Frente what if I'm not a saber man? Praya waran Super Saiyan. Marimba winga waran Vegito. Dragon Balls. Somebody somebody say Gohan. Taring taram na de future trunks. Hold up for the somebody say Vegito. Vegeta and Goku Hito. Got a Patara earring on Nilo. And it's on Vegito. Vegito. They on the Fusionito. Got a Patara earring on Nilo.
This one's so much better than the other one.